is family planning? Like my Oga said, Dr. Mumrewa, he has been giving all the medical terms and everything. He has been taking us on higher level. But I want to bring you down a little bit. I want to move on let me take you on a lower level, so you understand the basic, the rudiments, understand, on a normal level, you understand. So family planning basically means how to control your family in terms of procreation. Now, in terms of knowing how you want to take care of your family, in terms of number of children to have and other stuff. Now, you should know that basically there are two reasons to have sex. Sexual intercourse occurs for just two reasons: either for procreation or recreation. Procreation is to make children, while recreation is to have fun. So now let's start with the let's start with the procreation first. We'll go to what? Recreation. Now, for procreation, that means you want to have sex and everything, you want to get children. But the maximum children you can have is 5, 6, 7. Does that mean that you only have sexual intercourse 7 times? No, you have to still keep having sexual intercourse without your wife getting pregnant. That is where family planning comes in. Now, you should know one thing, that in this life, everything in this life always have either the good part or the bad part. Everything has what have disadvantage, we have disadvantage. The same with family planning method. That is why I always tell my patients, before you go into family planning, make sure that you and your partner are on the same page. It's not that he's pushing you or she's pushing him to go into family planning. No, because there are always side effects. No matter what you choose, there are always side effects. So at the end of the day, you don't start blaming and pushing blames. Oh, you're the one that said I should do this. Oh, you're the one. This. No. Both of you are a team in which you just as if you are in a football match. Who is taking the free kick we already know that them. Who is taking the penalty? We already know the person already. Not that when now gets the time to take it, you now start seeing fight. No. That has been done in the training pitch. So now your house is training pitch. You have to understand that, okay, me and my spouse have to go for family planning because we have had the number of children we want. We don't want any more children, and maybe the wife will be going for it, or the husband will be going for it, or even in some cases, both of them will go for it. So now let's get started. Now, in the family planning method, basically there are, let's say, 4 or 5 methods, which they now have some children on that. Now, the first one, which we all know, is called the barrier method. Now, barrier simply means placing a barrier on something. That means you don't want something to pass to the other side. Now, the barrier means putting a barrier, so the sperm or the semen, anyway you call it, does not pass from the vulva to the vagina and find its way through the fallopian tube to fertilize the egg. So you have to place a barrier. Now, either you start with the outer barrier, which is your condoms. You can use either a male condom or the female condoms. Now, for the male condoms, they have their own advantage, which is prevent pregnancy. And the disadvantage is that sometimes the condom might burst, especially for people that love rough sex. They are going for rough. They are throwing out, drawing out. The condom might just burst, and what you are preventing will finally happen, which is the sperm leaking into the vagina. And most times the condoms actually burst when the man is about ejaculating, because once you're about ejaculating, that is when your body is on, like you are taking her high. You have to do faster because you're enjoying it, and once you're doing harder, it might burst, and what you're preventing will surely happen, which is what? Sperm leakage. Then you have the diaphragm. Diaphragm is also used to prevent now. This cervical cap is just a cap used on the cervix. Now, as my guy said before, the cervix is a ring-like structure that helps in a woman is about to give birth. You have to what? You have to relax, and the dilate and the ring open, then the canal ground passage to the fetus coming out. You understand, or the baby coming out. So that is the function of the cervix. So you now have a cap around the cervix in which it doesn't allow the sperm pass through. So that is just all about the barrier method. Now let's go to what is called the hormonal method. Now the hormonal method is also common, and this method we have either the short hormonal method or the long hormonal method. Now the short hormonal method means you're using for just maybe 3 months, 6 months, while the long hormonal method means you're using for like 5 years, 10 years. Now examples of this short hormonal method include vaginal ringing, that is putting the ring around the vagina so the sperm doesn't go in. We have known that. Then skin patch. Now there is a patch in which you put on the skin that actually helps your tell the hormone from what prevent the hormone for, because for a woman you have your estrogen hormone that helps you in triggering your LH, that's your FSH, there's a follicle stimulating hormone to stimulate your egg and everything, so the woman can get pregnant. But these hormones are not active, so in which the woman might not be releasing eggs, you understand? Then there will not be sperm to fertilize the egg, or to alter a hormone, you understand, which is also a estrogen hormone, because estrogen hormone is basically the main hormone that makes her a woman, you understand? Then you have the contraceptive injections. Those are injections you can take every 6 months or 3 to 6 months, depends on the plan. You're just like you are subscribing, just like you are doing your data subscription. So all depends on the plan you're going for. You have your injection also. So you have also what your birth control pills, which you should always you should take them also to prevent pregnancy. Now all these hormone, they have their own side effects. Now what they call hormonal imbalance. That means that your hormone are not balanced, and those can cause so many things to women, especially obesity. You understand? There's a women that have gone through family planning and they're actually gaining weight, and they say, oh, I am having rest of mind, I'm enjoying life. No, it's actually the effect of this their pregnancy preventive method. And we know once obesity comes in, other health issues start falling in, which include high blood pressure, diabetes, and other things. So you are trying to prevent pregnancy, you are trying to go to family method, but you are still ending up getting diabetes, or you are still ending up getting high blood pressure. You can see that they are entangled, they are linked, because they have their own negatives in them. Then for the longer acting hormonal method, you have the copper IUD. For the women, mostly uses that, you understand? So you can use that. Then let's go to the next one, which is called sterilization. That is when the man has a role to play and the woman. Now let's start with the men first, because most men, once they hear this one, they start running away. Now sterilization, let me just break it. They mean castration. But let's be gentle. Let's not castrating per se. Let's be gentle, okay? It just means vasectomy, in which the testicles doesn't function, the sperm, it doesn't produce sperm, so you can have sexual intercourse longer, and it's nothing is going in, so it helps the man. Then for the woman, it's also called tubular ligation. Now in a woman, what they call your fallopian tube, they're actually two, left and right. They produce egg every month. Either the left, this month the left produces, the next month the right produces, and that's how it goes. Now in the case of, they can actually tie the womb, the fallopian tube. Once it's tied, even when the egg is being released, the sperm doesn't has a way to go through it and fertilize the egg, so the egg just drops and nothing comes, and it comes out as menstruation. And in other case also, it can be cut off. All depends on the plan they want to do, because if you want a permanent long term, there's also the long term, you can either cut it off, and your fallopian tube does not produce eggs anymore. So that is that. Then you also have your spermicide or the vaginal gel. Now this spermicide is just like a gel the woman uses on her vagina. So once the man is ejaculating, releasing, once the sperms are touching the vaginal wall, they die instantly, because the gel contains spermicide, which actually kills the vagina, which actually kills this sperm that is deposited in the vagina also. Then There's this one, the last one I want to talk about, which most women try to practice, but they always fail, which is called the calendar method. Now, the calendar method is a method in which you try to track your safe period. That we have to track, okay, oh, if I'm menstruating, I will stay for this or so days. I will not have sex. So this is my free period, my free time. I will not have sex, so I will not get pregnant. But in most cases, so women try it and they always fail because all women are not the same. Because some women will believe, some person will believe, my friend Shade, she doing this method is working for her. Yeah, so me to know, I'll do the same method, she can work for me. No. First of all, introduction, you have to know yourself. Know yourself, know the kind of period you have. Now, social media or some online doctors have made us believe that we must have just 28-day cycle. If you're not having 28-day cycle, you are less a woman. You are not complete. No, women are different. Some persons, they have 20-day cycle. Some persons have 28-day cycle. Some persons will have 30-day cycle. All depends on you knowing yourself first. I can't tell you. I think you are paused. I cannot hear you, Dr.
Some people have 22-day cycle.
Yes, it's just about you knowing yourself first. You don't have to compare yourself with another person because she's doing the same way to work for you. No. First, know yourself. And before you can know yourself, you have to what? Put yourself on the calendar for at least 6 months. Know when you're menstruating and when you're starting and stopping. Calculate it yourself. So you know, okay, I actually have a 26-day cycle or 28-day cycle. Now, if you're having a 28-day cycle, you are lucky. There are two things involved. On the 14th day, most times is always the ovulation day because half of the period is always the ovulation period. Now, you have to stay away from sexual intercourse 2 days before and 2 days after because the sperm can live in the woman at least 2 to 3 days without dying. And if it doesn't see any egg to fertilize, then it dies off. So if you stay away from sexual intercourse 2 days before the ovulation day, 2 days after ovulation, then you are safe. Then after that, you can still engage in sexual intercourse. But the truth is, and sometimes it may also fail because there are some women that they actually ovulate twice in a month, or their egg starts growing earlier in the month. So, and there's some women that are what I told you that the fallopian tube releases one. It's supposed to release at least one egg in a month, while the other one will release another egg the next month. Or in that month, God can catch you. The two of them will release at the same month. Bam. That way you now have your own identical twin, or you on the twin that are not identical. Let me come back to my normal English. I want it to Jorawo, like boy and girl, they are non-identical. It's God that catch you. Because on a normal, you should release one in a month, then the next month another one will come in. But that month, 2 double blessing, 2 came in at the same time. So if you are calculating, because your calculation just for an egg, it might be that one was released on the 14th day, the other one was released maybe on the 16th day. Maybe it can be like that. And when you're calculating for just one, once you have calculated one for one, not that you have 2 days left because there's another one waiting for you. And you have to send that course and get to fertilize it. So it might not work also. But in most cases, it works for women that actually understand themselves. So that is just the basic on family planning method. Now, before you go into family planning method, you must discuss with your partner. Both of you must come to conclusion. Okay, let's go for this method because some method they have their own advantages and disadvantages. So when you start having disadvantages, so you can stay with each other, you can help each other out. Understand? So that's just all on family planning method.